Okay, we are on Unit 2. We did Lesson 1 last week, and we're doing geometric shapes today. Lesson 2, geometric shapes. Lesson 2 introduces students to geometric shapes, including circles, squares, triangles, and rectangles.
What shapes can you name?
¿Qué figuras pueden nombrar?
Okay, today you're going to learn how to identify geometric shapes by name and locate them in art. You are going to create a geometric shape design. At the very end of your artwork, you should be able to evaluate your own artwork using the 4 steps of art criticism. And then, as far as our art and history and culture, you are going to be able to recognize that artists use geometric shapes for realistic and non objective subjects. What is she talking about? We'll get to that in just a minute. So we're going to look at these 2 paintings on these pages. Artists used geometric shapes in their works of art.
Let's look for geometric shapes in the paintings.
First, Le Pont Saint-Michel in Paris shows a real place. Actually, it's a real place. The artist lived near this river, and he made many paintings of this one. This is right here. Okay. Look around. Do you see any geometric shapes? Let's take a closer look. So you're going to study both works of art to find geometric shapes. Let's look at this one right here.
Auguste Urbain.
Auguste Urbain, and that's a French name. He was born in France, studied art in Paris. Urbain traveled around Europe, met many artists, and explored different styles of painting. His artwork became more simple and less detailed until he developed his style, as you see in this picture right now, called Life Number One. Urbain was France's leading geometric abstractionist, which was a style of art. He was one of the leading artists, like one of the most famous people to create, that was really good and create a lot of geometric abstract artwork. In his painting, he likes to use color and shape instead of things that are recognizable, and that's what made his artwork famous. Okay, so it's a study works of art in the pictures. Let's look at this one. V number 1, which means in French, life number 1. What shapes do you see in this right here? What geometric shapes? Remember, geometric shapes are shapes that have names. Okay, I see circle, triangle, half circle, rectangle. And not only are the shapes in the foreground, I also see them, he put them on top of shapes in the background that don't necessarily match. Like on this rectangle, he has triangle, circle, and square. And he just divided them up and arranged them very nicely using different colors and opposite colors to make them pop. Okay, and then this one right here, let's see. And this one right here, squares, rectangles, and triangles, semicircles, half circles. And this one right here, let's look, where do you see the shapes up close? Painted in 1908. And we can tell what is the season. I would think maybe it's wintertime because the streets look white. Maybe like snow. What do you see here? Even though it seems to be a semicircle, but what does this whole thing do you see? I see circles. Awesome. I see long rectangles. I see the little trolleys are rectangular shape. I see the trees. These are freeform shapes. Rectangle squares. The buildings are square. I see this. Who knows what shape this is right here? Kind of like a parallelogram. And little triangles. Positive, negative space right here. In the windows. Little horse carriage. I see a half circle here. And then also in the reflection. And then little geometric shapes right here. All over the place. Triangles. That shape again that we're looking at. Free form shapes like animals. Okay. And the shapes back there that are further away. cool. Okay, so let's look at this. My friends, let's look at this. Read along with me. Using geometric shapes. Some shapes are geometric shapes. Geometric shapes have names. Say along with me. Red circle. Very good. Blue square. Good. Green, shape that has 3 sides, triangle. And a purple rectangle. Good job. Good job.
What shapes have names?
What shapes have names? They're called geometric shapes. And if they don't have a name, they're called freeform or organic shapes. So if you were to practice at home, you could look around, including your computer right now. What shape is this? So you could look around your room, and all around your room, everything is made out of geometric or freeform shapes. Just look around, and everything in the world is either made out of a geometric shape or a freeform shape. So think about how this artist used geometric shapes, and they created a collage. They took some paper and they cut it up, and they did texture like rubbing. I remember I showed you before how you could take your piece of paper and put it on top of the bottom of your shoe and rub it with a crayon. They did that, or they found different things around their house and they traced it and they put it underneath and did a rubbing. But these are geometric shapes, and they just combined them and organized them onto a piece of paper, glued them on there, and made a composition. This is something you can do if you have the supplies at home. How could you arrange geometric shapes to make a picture? You could make a texture rubbing on paper. I told you about how I used to have those little plates those plastic things that you put on the paper and rub them. But then remember I showed you, if you're at home, you could find some shoes, make sure that they're clean, and you turn them over and you have little mini rubbing plates on the bottom of each shoe. Trace the outline of a shape on the paper. You could do a rubbing and then cut them out, arrange them to make a design, and then put them on some paper if you want to. Here's what it looks like if you were to do it. It doesn't have to look like this, but you see how, remember I used to have these little plates? If you could do that on the bottom of your shoe and make a bunch of patterns, cut them out, and glue them down to a piece of paper to create your design if you would like to. Remember, anything that you do on here is extra credit for dojo points. What you need to do now, boys and girls, is you need to go onto Canvas and you need to go to lesson 2, and you are already seeing the video. So all you have to do is go on there and do the little activities and take the quiz. And the activities are just going to show me that you know what a geometric shape is. And it might even ask you to look at the same pictures we just looked at, except I might ask you to circle it to see if you are paying attention to this video. Okay. So
what are the names of the geometric shapes you learned about?
And remember, if you do create some artwork, you should be able to answer what you did, what shapes you use. You should be able to answer what colors and shapes. If someone were to ask you how you made your artwork, you should be able to describe to them what it is that you made, what colors and shapes, and what you were doing. Do you like only using geometric shapes in your artwork, or do you like creating it with organic and freeform shapes? That is up to you. So you have completed lesson 2. Make sure you go into Canvas and do your Nearpod lesson on lesson 2, and we'll see you next week. Have a great day.